We're celebrating everything Winston-Salem and the locals who make our community special.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
From a vintage scooter delivering burritos.
My brothers and I have always wanted to do something like this with it, so I figured, hey, now or never, right?
And a seafood market with the freshest catch in town.
It's always gonna be hot and fresh because we cook everything to order. We're never gonna have anything just sitting.
To memories made into handcrafted heirlooms.
This is one of those things that just resonates and connects across the generations.
Never seen nothing like this before.
And repurposed vending machines dispensing unique works of art.
Never seen nothing like this.
These are the stories you'll find only in Winston-Salem.
When I first started, I'd take it downtown, hit up the bars at night, and everybody would come out after like a few drinks, and they'd be like, do you really have burritos? There you go. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey, good morning.
Selling out.
Yeah, it's been a crazy market today. Robert Rust is my grandfather. That's the guy that originally bought the scooter. So this is a 1947 Cushman scooter. My grandfather bought it new, and he sold hot dogs out of it in Shelby, North Carolina. It was in my mom's shed for about 20 years. I pulled it out and started tinkering with it. I rebuilt the clutch, the transmission, the generator, replaced all sorts of sprockets and chains, and I got it driving again. I love Winston. I grew up in Winston. I think it'll always be kind of a home base. The scooter was actually a huge part of my childhood. A few times a year, we would go to my grandparents' farm in Cherryville.
Hi, Poppy.
Hi, fellas.
We would end up just driving this thing for hours and hours the whole time we were there. He would use it as a way to teach us how to work on vehicles a little bit, you know, there's some great videos of him and my brother Ethan building a little wooden platform for the front where people could sit. And so those were our summer vacations. I probably learned how to drive mostly on this. It's got a clutch, but it's an easy to drive manual because it's a centrifugal clutch, and so it's not gonna stall out on you if you stop. We just loved it. It was like the coolest little vehicle for kids. My brothers and I have always wanted to do something like this with it, and so I figured, hey, now or never, right? So there's quite a lot of work to do. Just getting it set up the first time, this generator didn't work, this clutch did not work, the transmission didn't work, all of the chains were rusted and didn't move. So yeah, there's tons of little gaskets and everything was dry rotted. Replace the tires and get everything painted up. And it seems to be working, you know. This is considered a push cart under the regulations because there's not a hand wash station. And so you're limited, at least in Winston-Salem, to either hot dogs or individually wrapped prepackaged foods. And so I was like, what kind of individually wrapped packaged foods could I sell? And I thought burritos. Burritos are a really nice kind of food platform. You could do all sorts of different types of foods. My burritos, they're quite a bit larger, 8 ounces. They got real meat, big chunks of meat, veggies, and it's all handmade, so they're all a little bit different. It can be quite a long process from start to finish. I'm usually cooking 4 or 5 different items at a time. So that might be 20 different ingredients. Making a salsa verde that goes on my chayote breakfast burrito and my bacon breakfast burrito. I usually cook like 2 days, and then we roll burritos and make bowls another 2 days. Right now I've just got one person that helps to roll the burritos. She's very good at it, very fast. It takes a surprisingly long time to roll a burrito. We actually rebranded over the winter when we started doing the bowls. It used to be called El Burrito Bueno, so that's why it says burrito on this side and bueno on this side. But once we started doing the bowls, I wanted something a little bit more expansive, and so I chose Robert Russ Foods to kind of honor the legacy of my grandpa, but also, you know, widen the brand so I could do more than just burritos. One of the nice things about this setup is I don't have to like prepare anything on site, so it's a really quick sale. So as soon as people come, I can just hand them a hot burrito. Immediate satisfaction, you know, people like that. I sell hot and frozen at all of the events, and I also sell frozen at a few grocery stores around the state. Kind of taking it week by week and building something that people love and people come back to every week. It seems to be working so far, but you know, we're kind of at the beginning of the journey, and we'll see where it goes.
Think you're a Winston-Salem expert? Let's find out with some trivia. Which famous skyscraper was inspired by Winston-Salem's Reynolds Building? The Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Carew Tower, or the John Hancock Center? Here's a hint. This skyscraper has a big part in some of Hollywood's most memorable scenes. Made famous in movies like King Kong and Sleepless in Seattle, the Empire State Building was inspired by the Reynolds Building. In 1929, the Reynolds Building was named Building of the Year, and that award helped the firm behind it land the Empire State Building gig. And New York City never forgot its Southern roots. To celebrate 50 years of standing tall in the Big Apple, the Empire State Building wished their forefather a happy anniversary, Dad, with a card back in 1979. And while that never became a yearly tradition, it's still a fun nod to Winston-Salem's impact on one of the world's most recognizable buildings. How much coffee could the Mickey coffee pot in Old Salem hold? 520 gallons, 650 gallons, 740 gallons, or 860 gallons? If you're good with conversions, here's a clue. While it's never actually held coffee, experts estimate it could hold 11,840 cups. Now that's impressive. Even more impressive, it stood the test of time and a few motorists. What began as an advertisement for a local tinsmith in 1858 has since become a roadside attraction. But its original curbside location was a bit too close to the road. Numerous cars crashed into it over the years, and when it ended up in the construction path of Interstate 40 in the 1960s, the coffee pot had to be moved. It even survived an explosion in 1930 when pranksters threw a firecracker inside of it, only suffering a small rip on one of the metal seams, which might make it one of the most indestructible coffee pots in the world. You can take a tour of downtown Winston-Salem on which vehicle? A hovercraft, a fire truck, a tank, or a garbage truck? We'll help you out. Guests ride open air in this retired vehicle turned party bus that can be seen cruising through downtown. If you've ever dreamed of taking a trip on a fire truck, Winston-Salem has you covered. Hook and Ladder Party Pumper will take you on a unique adventure while making stops at some of the best breweries and bars in downtown Winston-Salem.
We do have music, lights, it's BYOB, so you bring your own beverages. We have coolers, ice, cups, and we also have a host too.
Rides are hosted by actual firefighters who share their knowledge of the city. It's a chance to learn something new, and it's a unique and, well, flashy way to explore downtown Winston-Salem. Did you know $5 in Winston-Salem can kickstart your art collecting journey? Because that's all it costs to use the Artomat vending machines found across the Triad and the world. Back in 1997, local artist Clark Whittington came up with the idea to rework old cigarette dispensers so they vend unique pieces of art, filling Winston-Salem with dozens of tiny art museums.
It's kind of cool because when people come to town, everywhere they go, there's a good chance they're going to walk into a place that has an Artomat.
But with so many across the triad, which Artomats are on the creators can't miss list?
Artomat number 1 is in the Lerk Gallery. That's where we distribute all the art nationally. We have a studio inside the gallery. Renolda House Museum of American Arts here in Weston is our machine that looks like the Operation game. It lights up and buzzes when people make the selection. So it's sort of a parody or a real-life wacky package that is an Artomat.
New pieces are constantly being added to each Artomat, giving you the chance to grow your collection just about every day, with nearly every style and format of art up for sale, as long as it can fit inside the vending machines.
Anything that the artist wants to make can be either on a block of wood or inside a box. We have traditional, we have some things that are conceptual, abstract, contemporary.
Check out artomat.org for an interactive map of locations and embark on your very own art collecting adventure. And now you are in the know.
I'm from a different generation, so I see things like a little bit differently. But then she brings kind of like that old school appeal, which is not too old, honestly. But everybody doesn't get to really like hang out with their family as much, especially like mothers. So I think it's cool. I get to spend a lot of time.
Forsyth Seafood. When we started way back in the day, there were a lot of fish markets as a segment in Winston-Salem, but not anymore. It's a dying breed.
We're 2 entities, so we have the fresh market and the cafe. We get about 20-something different wild-caught types of fish and seafood. We cut everything to order, so mostly everything on the line is whole, and then we cut it. And we can cook it, steam, broil, or fry it in the restaurant. Sometimes there's a wait, but it's always gonna be hot and fresh because we cook everything to order. We're never gonna have anything just sitting.
Our business started in 1984. Back of a truck at a flea market in the hot sun. And then one night, we're sitting in the basement of our house. We said, okay, we know seafood. We've been bringing seafood back for people, so let's just go on and do that. My husband used to bring mostly everything that we had from the coast, from our home, Beaufort. Shrimp with the head on is what we first started out with, and then we didn't realize people up here weren't used to seeing shrimp with the head on, so it kind of scared everybody to death. So we're in the basement trying to pop heads off the shrimp to sell it. And then we eventually bought the first little fish market.
Oh yeah, so
Her
that's
dad
the one
and
for
I.
my dad. That's from 19-something, 90-something. Yeah,
Early
maybe
days.
96, 97.
It's much younger. He passed about 10 years ago. We were childhood sweethearts all through college. He was a very quiet man. He was all about the work and making sure that everything was the highest quality. He passed 4 months after we reopened our renovated location. He asked God to kind of keep him up to that point so he could get it open. I think our direction was always in getting it back open, continuing. We'd already made that choice because he had been sick for several years.
I never liked fish until after my dad passed away.
You know, a lot of times you look at your parents, you say, oh, that's just my parents, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize we've been in this community and we've been working hard at it and that we've got relationships with community. And I think she later respected that a little bit more. It meant more to her. It didn't mean anything to her, I think, early on.
Especially when you're young, you want your own identity, but you can still have your own identity and still be a part of like a larger organization. I went to North Carolina State University for fashion textile management and product development. I decided I really didn't want to do that. And at that time, my father, he had just passed away. So I was like, let me just come back home. There's already a model here. Like, I can just input myself here and just, like, help. So I asked my mom for a job. I spent a lot of my childhood here. Even back, like, in elementary school, my parents would, like, pick me up in the fish truck, and all the kids would run and say, oh, your dad's outside. It'd be so embarrassing. And I would come here and do my homework every day. So I would record my cartoons on my television at home because we didn't have cable here. And I would bring the VHS here And I had a small little TV, and I would be in the kitchen while they're all behind me, like packing. We got a line out the door, and I'm sitting there watching cartoons in the kitchen. So I kind of created my life around whatever was going on here.
Doing good today?
Yeah, I just come back from the sand hills down in London.
Oh, did you? How long were you there? You took the RV?
Yes.
Okay. The community is great. We got the greatest customers in the world. 39 years is a long time to be in Winston-Salem. We've seen generations grow up.
There you go. You're welcome. I have humongous goals. My mom can tell you that. With the Fresh Market, we're hoping to do more wholesale. I would love to turn the Fresh Market into a national distributor for seafood. And we're starting to push more to like local chefs and restaurants.
A lot of small businesses you see, you know, they build it up, but the kids don't want to have anything to do with it. So you don't have a legacy person, so it just kind of dies, or they sell it off, and there's no connection in the future. So it's good to know that the next generation wants to pick it up and run with it.
Grace and I were cleaning out Mom and Dad's house after they had passed.
And we found in a closet, not one, not two, but 3 boxed wedding dresses that belonged to my aunts.
Pull them out of the closet and go back.
See all the fabric that was there.
Some of them had photos tucked in the box. So I immediately call them on the phone. It's like, I think we found your wedding dress at Mom's house. What should I do?
Donate it.
Oh, no, keep it. And I go, no, I can't keep everything forever. We have to make a decision. And my sister said, well, maybe Grace can make something out of it.
Here in the Triad, our team transforms wedding dresses of all eras into beautiful heirlooms. It's a very family-based business.
Hi, daughter.
Wow.
We get along so well.
I definitely got my entrepreneurial spirit from my mom. Growing up, she had her own business. To be able to see a woman be such a good mother, but also such an amazing business owner, sparked this desire in me to start my own business. We have, in the lifetime of the business, served over 8,000 women with dresses from 1901 to 2023, all 50 states as well.
This transformation of your original wedding dress into something especially made for your daughter is one of a kind, and only Mom can give that to her daughter.
This is one of those things that just resonates and connects across the generations.
Grandmas and moms, and grandmas who have passed, and moms and daughters
And daughters to come in the future.
And the most special milestones in life. 63 million women have at least one, if not more, wedding dress in a closet. That was the impetus for the name of the business. Unbox that dress.
Time to get it out of the box.
Time to get it out of the box. See how beautiful it is. Remember all that, that you felt on your wedding day. Thank goodness we have each other. Oh my goodness.
My mom, who's my co-founder, and I would go to bridal fairs. And that's when we saw a lot of brides kind of walking around with their mother of the bride. As soon as we asked, like, hey Mom, do you still have your wedding dress? They would just absolutely light up. That's how we knew that we were really onto something. Everybody's dress is different and story is different, and so there's just so much inherent storytelling built into it. You never know what kind of dresses are gonna come through the door. Some of the beautiful things that we can make from wedding dresses: christening gowns, bouquet wraps, angel ornaments. It kind of looks like a little mini wedding dress. It's a lot about weddings, a lot about babies, but then we have some other stuff too. I mean, we have 40 different products. Our purses are really popular, so Mom can have something made, from her own dress to carry at the wedding or just to enjoy. Robes are probably our top seller, so this is 100% made from like a 1980s wedding dress and is a really popular product for the mother of the bride to give to her daughter at her bridal shower, so she doesn't feel pressured to necessarily wear Mom's dress, but it's still the way to pass it on. It's so rewarding to have a whole team of sewers who are like way more talented than I was. We have 4 teams of 4. Since every dress is unique and has different details, it's kind of nice to have the same people working on it from like the design phase all the way till we've given it our seal of approval. It's beautiful, it's ready to go. They're so talented. I mean, the work that comes through, I'm just floored all the time. I'm thankful every day that I can trust them to treat everything with such respect and problem solve. It's not a perfect science, but we try to strike the balance of being able to serve the most amount of customers without ever sacrificing quality. To start the process of working with us, you order a dress box. Once the dress is in, we put the dresses on a mannequin and take photos of the front, the back, any unique details. The next step is to connect with our client care team to have a consultation. We talk through kind of like her wish list, and then when we determine these are the products that we're going to move forward with, then they get into a little bit more of the details. If people are local, they can come in and do their design call in person. But I still don't think everybody knows we're here. When people do learn that we're local, they're excited to set up an appointment and come in.
That's true. We have some people reach out through the website and then they discover we're right here and like, oh my goodness, you're here. I'm gonna just bring my dress. But I will say from the business community that we've had a lot of support and visibility. So the Triad Business Journal and the Startup Contest. So in that respect, I think there is visibility about what we're building and growing and doing in the Triad.
It's been such an adventure, different every single day. As women founders, predominantly serving female customers with a female workforce, we're entering new territory. I remember the days where I would be so excited when one wedding dress would show up on the front stoop of Lorraine's home as, you know, a customer in the pipeline. And now we have 15 dresses showing up a day. When you think about how far we've come, it's really exciting.